Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and His Son Yahusha Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 13th of February 2024. The time is 15:36 hours. That's 3:36 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm gonna do a little trade recap here on a swing trade I did on AudUSD. So this was what I was looking at here on the US dollar. I was looking at the uptrend, right? Excuse me. And we kept getting support here at this VWAP area. So that white line right there, that's VWAP, right? That's from an anchored VWAP that I have set from a prior time. I'm not gonna go all the way back to where VWAP is. I'm just gonna leave the chart as it is. Excuse me, hold on one second. Right, so I had to clear my throat there. So looking at these buying wicks off of VWAP, we're in an uptrend. I was looking for basically another structure like this here, right? So this yellow line, this was previous month's Camarilla R4, right? And as we got that support there, we had one of these big buying candles. Now I can't remember what this buying candle was. Maybe it was news or something like that as well. But the CPI report was coming out, so I was looking at this doji candle here, and this red line is Camarilla R4 on the monthly, right? So I was basically looking at it like it's between Camarilla R4. We peaked above it, and we're holding above the anchored VWAP, right? Excuse me one second. Right, so we're holding above this VWAP, right? And I was thinking, okay, let me look for a currency pair that's going to sell off when the US dollar breaks above this Camarilla R4. And in anticipation of the CPI, I was thinking, well, bullish dollar and sell off in the market, right? So switching over here to the AudUSD. Right, so this is the daily chart, right? So I was looking at it yesterday. This was the 12th candle, and I was looking at this at the setup of the first lower deviation band on the VWAP and the rejection we were getting from that level, right? So we have wicks, so that's the green line. We have wicks, we have a breakdown from this structure here, we have a breakdown, can't get back above it. So I entered two short positions right here, two sell positions, right? In anticipation of the CPI sell-off. So eventually caught these two at the bottom here and exited my positions here at let's see, this level right here, just below, just above the low. So let's go down to like some lower time frames. All right, so look at some levels here. Let me try and clear up this chart a little bit. All right, so coming into the CPI, we were just at let's see, let's make this a little bigger. This is something I actually, wait, hold on, sell on US dollar breakout. Right. So these are some little notes that I leave on the chart just to remind me of what I want to do, what's my trading plan. So let's see here, put this to the bottom. right? So we were just above, coming back, kind of retracing back to this weekly pop area and the monthly value area low, right? And also the monthly value area high, right? So as you can see with the CPI candle, we push back above the weekly value area high. Hold on. Man, my throat is acting up. So we pushed above it, got the rejection up there at the above the weekly value area high. And this structure here is, I guess, is like a head and shoulders kind of structure that they created. So shoulder, head, shoulder, right? So I don't really look at those patterns for like trading. I usually trade my levels, but just pointing it out, right? You know, people will notice that, and it's something I noticed just looking at it right now, right? So it's not something I use for any executions or anything like that. So yeah, basically we pushed above this weekly value area high, lost the POC and the monthly value area low. Weekly value area POC is at 0.65227 and the monthly value area low is at 0.65245, right? And as soon as we lost that, we just basically came cascading down. Now this is weekly Camarilla S3 here at 0.65046, right? This green line right there. So if we're losing that, that means that we're definitely heading into bearish territory for the week. Now, this is also coupled with the weekly floor pivot, bottom central pivot at 0.65045, right? So it's basically on top of each other. So that's why I call that like a copper top zone, right? So it's kind of like some zones like the golden pivot zones. I just call this one a copper top zone. It's basically like a double pivot zone. So I just give it some names, right? So golden pivot zone is with two the central pivot and another level in close proximity. So since this is using the bottom central and another level, which is Camarilla S3, I call it a copper top zone, right? So basically lost that, lost the weekly value area low, came down to Camarilla S4, 0.64850, lost that as well, right? We came all the way to, this is Camarilla S5, this is Camarilla S6, the purple line, right? So let me point that out. Light blue, Camarilla S5, and this is the weekly, right? And this is the purple line is Camarilla S6, and that light blue line right there is weekly floor pivot S1, which is at 0.64509. So that's where I decided to take profit, right? So we kind of get it like a little reversal, some buying here, some congestion a little bit. We did end up pushing lower after this consolidation right there. But I just decided to take my profit, exited the position on some buys right there. Now we're getting like a engulfing kind of reversal pattern at floor pivot S1. So right now my next play is like, I'm looking for, let's see here. Right, so what I'm looking at now on the US dollar, right? So we came up to the monthly Camarilla R4 level, right? And we got that rejection right there. This is a automatic rally on the daily. And this is basically like a Wyckoff level. So, and it's basically like a previous resistance, right? So this here is a resistance area. If the US dollar decides to pull back down into this structure or come back down to the monthly R1, which is at 13031, and I'm using the Dow Jones FXCM dollar index, right? So this is not the Dixie, this is not the regular US dollar weighting. This one is actually a updated weighting against other currencies. So if you want to check this out, you'll see it's different numbers compared to the Dixie. It'll be Dow Jones FXCM dollar index, right? So I'm thinking here that most likely maybe we might get like a retracement back down to this monthly floor pivot R1. So with the dollar losing strength, I'm looking for a currency that's strong, right? So let's see here. And looking at the daily charts here on Gbpusd, it's already forming somewhat of like a reversal pattern here, right? So we got this sell-off previously, pushed up here. Now this is the sell-off it had today from the CPI with the dollar strength, right? So it's actually sitting just above this monthly Camarilla S4 level. So if the dollar loses strength now, I'm probably trying to catch this right back up to like around 1.26348, right? So that's the daily chart there on Gbpusd. You can see we have this reversal pattern here as well. Now this is a golden pivot zone that I was talking about on the weekly chart. Well, this is the 1 hour chart, but it's weekly levels, right? Right, so I labeled that like my golden top zone. Just make that bigger for more clarity. Right, so this level here could be rejection now. It was supposed to be support. We had that consolidation around it today, kind of rotational around it. We're getting a reversal. Anything above this level here, I want to try and catch a buy to probably, I don't know how far it could get, maybe to the mid, or maybe to a weekly floor R1 at 1.26744, or maybe the mid at 1.26328. Right, so let me just point out weekly floor R1, that's the mid, and around here is where I want to catch the buy, like the break above this central pivot here at 1.25972, and above Camarilla S3 at 1.25957. Right, so let's see how that works out. I'm not too keen on jumping into any reversal because the US dollar could maintain its strength, and if it does maintain its strength, then I want to have a continuation sell on AUD/USD. So maybe it comes up to the previous week low at 0.64688, gets a rejection there, and I can enter another short somewhere around here, right? And probably try and target like S3 or maybe even S4, depending on the US dollar strength, right? So probably try and like set my stop somewhere around here at 0.64815, have an entry somewhere below the previous week's low, and see if that could work out, right? So I still kind of practice on Forex with like a very small account. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Let's see how Forex could work out as well. All right, y'all. So it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.